Alright everyone, welcome. As the description says, yeah, there we go. We have Joy and Luke, both on the far right, running the doubles co-ed for DekaFit in Concord, North Carolina. This is Luke's third race today, so he's pretty tired. Our team event earlier was exhausting, but here they go. So I missed last year at this venue, but last year Luke was here and he said that it was a little empty, not nearly as many people today. I think there were more than 2 years ago, so it seems like they scaled up this year, especially with all the team events. There are, I think there's at least 100 teams racing today, maybe more, so it's been pretty busy and packed all day long. Deka's not nearly as big as High Rocks, and I don't honestly think it's trying to be. There they go. But today they had a really good turnout, and it's been fun but very hot racing today. So the way this works for teams, it's 2 laps around each time, around the whole course, and then you go into the first zone, do the zone, you run past the second zone on your first lap the next time, and then on the second lap you go into that next zone. The team has to run together the first 2 laps and the last 2 laps, and then after that they can split up the work however they want with running, zones, and all that. So you'll see people moving much faster than in the solo events because they get time to rest, either on the run or while the other person's doing the zone or whatever. So in just a minute here, they'll be coming into the ram reverse lunges. If you don't know Deka, as we go through these, I'll describe what each one is. This first zone, like I said, is ram reverse lunges. There's a 33-pound ram for women and a 44-pound ram for men. It's 30 reverse lunges, and for the teams, it can be split up however you want it to be split up. There's a few rules. Feet need to go across the red line. Uh-oh, Luke needs to step a little further forward there. Yikes. There he goes. And you're supposed to get your hips forward and stand mostly tall at the top, which is doing a pretty good job. It's a little leaning over a little bit there. But, alright, they're going to be splitting it up a little bit, it seems. You do have to set the rams down. If you drop them, it's a penalty. As well it should be, because they weigh a lot and these rams bounce. And they will bounce pretty far if you drop them from high up. Good job, Joy! Oh. There they go. Alright. Luke's on the run. I think he's going to be doing a lot of it on the running portions, and I think Joy will be doing a lot of the station work. So while one person runs, the next person can move on to the next zone, get themselves set up and ready for when the runner comes in. Yeah, absolutely. So for the rower, anytime you finish the 500 meters, whether it's individual or teams, you cannot come off of the seat until the screen shows 500 meters. You can stop rowing a little sooner because the flywheel will keep spinning and you'll keep getting meters off of that. So you can take a few seconds to rest at the end if you give a good hard pull. Here comes Luke on lap 1, so he started lap 2. But you can coast the last 20 meters, if you have a good strong pull, get your feet out of the stirrups and be ready to run, but your butt has to stay on the seat until you hit 500 meters. And for teams, that'll mean she can't tap Luke for the next run until it hits 500. Okay. Luke should be coming around here pretty soon. Alright, here he comes. There he is. So, if you're someone who is interested in doing a Deka, I would say the hardest thing... There we go. He was trying to run past. He was too caught up in the run. The hardest part about training for Deka, in my opinion, is that there are 10 zones, which means you need to train 10 different things plus the running. So really it's 11 different things. And that's just a lot of things to train. If you're a naturally good runner, some of the zones might be harder for you. If you're good in like circuit format workouts in the gym with weights, and on ergs like the ski erg and the rower, and also the air bike, then maybe the running is something you have to work on. But either way, it's the number of zones and trying to do your very best that makes this so hard and hard to train for. If you're looking for training for this, visit triofitnesstraining.com and click on the hybrid tab. We have programs for it. We've been racing in the competitive category for years, and we've been coaching athletes for it competitively for years. Also, anyone at any level. We have athletes of all levels sign up, and we just try and get them better to help them reach whatever goals they have. So they did a swap on the rower. The only negative part to swapping on the rower is that it takes time to get your feet out, get on the seat, swap positions. But you do get a rest, so you can theoretically hold a faster average pace when you are on it. For Luke and I's race earlier, he did most of the zone work because he's bigger and more powerful than I am, and I'm a faster runner. So if we play to our strengths, we get a much better time. If we were to split something like this, we would lose seconds on my average, and we would lose seconds on the run portion from him being more tired from that. Alright, he's off to do his 2 laps. Joy's going to move on to zone 3, which is 20 box overs. So again, she can't start the work until Luke comes and taps her in, and then she'll have to tap him out to start the runs again. This is towards the very end of the day. There aren't many teams racing now compared to earlier, so there's a lot of boxes open, which means they get the ones up front, which means less time in transition, which is always a nice thing. Alright, here he comes on lap number 1. On lap number 2, he'll come in. The box isn't really hard as far as being physically challenging. If you go fast, it can hurt your cardio a bit, but it's really a skill thing. So if you practice it and get some rhythm, you can go very quickly without using a lot of energy. But if you don't practice it and you try and jump over, or you're stepping up and you're standing super tall, that'll slow you down a lot. So it's a technique thing. Obviously, you make do with whatever physical ability you have, but over time, if you can learn the techniques, you'll be much, much faster. And again, this station is all about rhythm. If you can get into a good rhythm, you spend less energy, you keep a solid pace, and you get out of there. All right, here he comes. And there she goes. Lost her balance a little bit there. Joy is the bionic woman. She has had both knees replaced in the last few years, and even through that she's stayed fit and active the whole time. She's done super well at competitions and everything, so she's worked very, very hard and hasn't let that slow her down at all. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about with the rhythm. Luke's also a little taller. This is harder the shorter you are because you have to get your knees higher. He's a good height for this, but that's the rhythm right there. Much less energy expended, much faster movement. I don't know what that was about. I'm gonna go ask Joy. Joy, what was that? What was that?
Didn't touch with both feet.
What?
So he jumped up back up and touched with both feet.
Alright, whatever. Okay, I guess I wasn't paying attention, but... I guess the judge said he didn't touch with both feet. You do have to touch both feet on top of the box each time you go over it, so... Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Oop, I'm on the wrong side. Alright, we've reached zone 4 for Deka. If you do a Deka strong or a Deka mild, these are just med ball sit-ups. For the DekaFit, these are med ball sit-ups with a throw. And you have to throw it up and hit these targets. It's 25 reps. This one got me earlier for my individual race because whoever used the ball in front of me got it covered in sweat and I could barely grip it. So it slipped out of my hand several times and I lost, I don't know, probably a good 10 seconds on it from it just being so slick. But that's just the way it is with the fitness competition. We were all moving too fast. The judges didn't have time to wipe them all off before someone else took over, so just the way it is. Joy gets to rest on a pillow. Hey, that'll get your heart rate down. Still in between one of these, probably after this. I'm going to check the standings because... Oh, alright, here he comes. Because for teams, Luke and I, it was confusing. It said like 6th or 8th out of 60-some people at the time, and then it didn't say anything for age group category or anything, but it said 3 out of 14 for rank, which I'm not used to seeing that, so we'll see what it was. Nice job, Joy! Good pace! Man, she's crushing this. Great form, great pace. It's awesome. That's how you do it. If you want a really good example of sit-ups with the throw for DekaFit, that's it right there. That was great. Wow. Alright. That was great, Joy! Alright, I'm going to go check the standings since it's on the way over. Deka Zone 5 will be the ski erg, so that's where we'll be after I check these standings.
Alright, we're in the 60s. Oh. Yeah, 46.51. Yeah. That makes sense.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Alright, so no. 5th out of 32.
Well, Well, that's the only one that comes up here. The other
Okay.
one, I don't know what's going on.
Could be worse. No podium, but not terrible.
No, not on here.
8th out of 143, 5th out of 5th out of 32 for, I guess, a ring. All right, well, sad if we didn't get the podium, but c'est la vie. All right, we are headed over to Deka Zone 5, which is a 500-meter skier. You can set the damper to whatever setting you prefer. Athletes on the team event can switch off after however many meters or seconds they want to. Luke and I lost about 10 seconds on this one because he started on one skier and it just instantly stopped working. So we had to switch skiers and burned about 10 seconds doing that. So what a shame. Alright, there's Luke coming in, and the tag and the ski. There we go. Pretty much the only zone that doesn't have great spectator positions today is the ski, just because so many of them are further away from where we can watch. Every other zone has really good spectating positions. So like I said, you can split up the meters or time on this however you want to. For ours, Luke did 200. Since I was doing all the runs, he did 200 up front. I did the middle 100, and then he finished out 200, and then I went on the run again. All right, and they're swapping again. Say the nice thing about this one at this point in the day is you only need one volunteer just to make sure that people are hitting the 500 meters. The only real rules for this are that you have to keep your feet on that platform the whole time, and as long as your feet are on there while you're skiing, it's good. And then of course the tag can't happen until 500 meters is hit. There we go. Alright. Off for 2 more laps. Joy will move over to the farmer's carries. So I would say that these farmer carries are not that bad. The most challenging thing about them, in my opinion, as long as you train for them, is the weaving. So this is a very windy little course for the farmer's carry, and all the little turns just slow you down. At an event like High Rocks or something along those lines, it's usually a straight line with one turn, and you go back down, and then sometimes you do the distance twice, but you're not zigzagging like you are in here. So that's what makes this one most challenging, in my opinion. You can't really maintain any speed. Here comes Luke going around on the second round. And Joy got some water and she's headed over to the carries. For co-ed, there's 2 weights. Obviously the men's weight and the women's weight. Men will carry 2 60-pound dumbbells. Women will carry 2 40-pound dumbbells. If you were to split this zone, you would have to split it using the men's weight, is my understanding. But it would be ridiculous to do that, so I'm pretty sure Joy's just going to be doing the full distance carry. And she's strong, so she'll get through this pretty quickly. Alright, Luke's coming around again. Right now. The tap. Yeah, Joy's got this. This will be a pretty easy one for her. So, some people today were running with the other athlete. To my knowledge, since the last time I read the rule book, you don't have to. So Luke and I did not, and the judge who was there also confirmed that. To me, it's kind of wasted energy unless you're expecting to hand off the weights and you want to be near. This zone is a decent rest time for a runner. The rower is a decent rest time. And that's about it. If you're the runner and you're going all out, you're going to be fried. Luke can do the air bike in 18 seconds, which is what he did earlier today. I think his best ever is like 17. So if you're the runner, you run 2 laps. There he goes. You come in, your partner does the air bike with the start time, transition, maybe 20 total seconds, and you're back out running again. So it's brutal. And speaking of the air bike, that's where we are next. Go, Andrew! Nice work! This is it. Yep. Everyone's favorite. Yeah.
I got we're about 23 minutes in.
I didn't start a timer. I should have. That's good. Oh. We got Tom over there crushing it. Alright, let's see where Luke is.
I didn't think my farmer's carry was fast as I wanted it to be.
That's good. I thought it was pretty good.
Still slow.
There's a steady pace. It's just so windy.
It's been a long day.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like your turn, your turn.
Yep. Yeah, even though High Rock's weight's heavier, I think it's easier because it's 1 turn per round.
It's lap 1, right?
Pretty sure. Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Go, go, go! Go, go, go! Missed Luke going around the first time, I guess. Let's go, Joy! It's supposed to hurt, is what he said. That is very true. If you are trying at all on an air bike, whether it be an assault bike, echo bike, or any other similar brand, it will hurt. The ability to be quick on this can make or break a race every time. Go, go! Seat height's a little low for Luke, but that's not a big deal right now. Uh-oh. I guess the fan blew to the top. All right. He's gonna be slower on this run. That's for sure. So, I didn't mention it, I don't believe, but for the air bike, they're using assault bikes for Deka right now. Sometimes they use echo bikes at gyms and stuff. Either way, it's 25 calories for both men and women, so the same calorie number. Once you burn 25 calories, then you move on. The faster you go, the higher the RPMs, the higher the watts. Obviously, the faster you burn those calories. But the faster you go on it, the more it absolutely crushes your whole body, muscles, cardiovascular system, everything. So This used to be a ball over the bar. Now they got a new sponsor, so it's a sandbag over the bar. Different weights for men and women. And this is, so the women's weight will be 40 pounds, the men's is 60. Well, he's dying right now, so. How are you?
Sore.
Yeah, me too.
It's just this venue is way hot.
It's very hot. Yeah.
Unfairly hot.
I was pouring sweat
It
earlier.
costs you time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone, well, there aren't any world records today, I don't think. Let's put it that way. So for this event, it's a sandbag over the bar. You do 20 reps. You have to walk around the bar each time like this fine gentleman here. Feet have to be inside the bars. He's doing a great job with the form. So those are all really good reps. Yep. That's exactly how it goes. There he's running up the lane. You got it, Joy! Do 100 of them! No. Oh yeah, it is. It is.
You like the ball?
Much messier.
I find it easier to pick up.
Come on. Yeah.
The ball strains my forearm.
You got it, Joy. Keep going. Good job. All right. So, we're going to be down to the final two events. Next up is the tank push. I guess technically these are still tanks. There used to be a four-wheeled tank. I can't remember the brand, but they switched sponsors again, so now we have this. This is three wheels. The back wheels turn, which is nice if you need to navigate and not go in straight lines. But this is all straight line work. So these actually swivel a little bit, which isn't ideal all the time. Or at all. It's not ideal at all. But the other tanks would also turn a little bit if you push too hard on one side or the other. So I honestly think they are about the same in difficulty. This might be slightly harder. It felt maybe slightly heavier. But I really can't tell. I would have to put them both beside each other and test them. So what they'll do here, Luke's going on lap number 2 now. What they'll do here is push from one red line down to the other. As when they need to come back, they'll pull it back, and then they'll push back and pull back, push down and pull back 5 total times. And we'll see an example with these racers over here. The pulling, in my opinion, is harder. So my quads were already dead, and that pull is quad heavy. All right, let's see. There are different resistance levels on these tanks for men and women. I actually don't know which numbers it is for these tanks. I need to look that up again, but I don't do co-ed doubles regularly, so I've never really had occasion to look it up. Here goes Joy. Alright. These are new within this last calendar year, I believe, so a lot of people still haven't used them. I don't know if Joy's used them before or not, but it does take a little getting used to. There's 2 grips. A lot of people were taking the further grip, the short one. I like the closer one personally. Oh, Luke just said it's supposed to be men's weight. Oh, okay, well, I need to brush up on that rule. Certainly will if I do a co-ed race or any of our clients are doing it that I'm racing with. Luke's really good at pulling it back. I am not nearly as fast as him on that. Let's go, Joy! Her husband's taking some good photos of the suffering. Maybe a smile in there too. Alright, so the judge holds up a finger each time they complete one round of push and pull. So the third one will come up. It's a very easy way to tell how many they've done and to keep easy track, because there have been times in the past when miscounts have happened. Just looking at this specific zone, you might underestimate it and think, oh, it's just like a few plates on there and it's on wheels. You'd be right, except that there's also magnetic resistance, and the harder you push, the more resistance you encounter. So that's why you're not seeing a lot of people actually like running with it like you might a sled, where the resistance is always the same. But this is also not nearly as challenging as some of the weights for high rocks, whether that be open or pro. Alright, so like I mentioned at the very start, the last 2 laps before zone 10 need to be run as a team. Or, well, at least they both need to run it. They can separate if one wants to run ahead of the other. It's what I did so I could get a few seconds of rest when I got to the burpees to start them before Luke got there. We'll see if Luke does the same with Joy or not. Yeah. 2 awesome racers. I will say, although some of these events have had hiccups and things in the past, one thing that remains awesome about them is the ability for anyone to come out and do them. Whether that be someone older, younger, no matter what shape you're in, no matter what ability, you can always come out here and do it. And that's one super cool thing about it. And it's not only just that you can come out and do it, it's encouraged and applauded. So it's awesome. Alright, there they come on lap number 1, and they're starting lap 2 now. Let's go! Woo! Man, it's the end of the day, and there's honestly still a good number of people here. I'm pleasantly surprised. I was worried there might not be nearly as many, but a lot of people turned out for this today. spot so I can see them pretty much no matter where they go. There they come. One more corner to come around and then it's into zone 10. A little. All right. This is the end. That's 3, 4. I'll tell you what, when they made the change to have the full extension with the elbow lock overhead for the Ram, it slowed everyone down. People had all sorts of crazy fast techniques to breeze through this thing. No matter who it is now, top #1 athlete for Deka or anyone from there to the slowest, it's a much, much slower event with that full extension. And I will also say they've done a good job today in the competitive waves enforcing that form, at least from what I saw. And that's everything for competitive sports. Rules that are enforced. I think it's their last 3 reps here. I think. This should be the last rep. Oh, that was last rep. Nice. All right. All right. So like I said, that's DekaFit. That's the full 5K running 10 zone version of DekaFit. That was doubles or team, co-ed, whatever you want to call it. If you're someone who's looking at this video and thinking, man, I can't do that, I promise you can. And if you want to train for it, or you have done one and you're like, man, I want to do better next time, go to our website. It's linked on our Facebook page. It's also triofitnesstraining.com. We have different programs there, custom, stock, whatever works for you to help you improve your ability on your running, on the zones, and whatever else you need to for these races. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.